Righto, Ken, you've been saying it's been building. Is that the best at the end of this final for you?
Yeah, we played really well. I mean, I think you're talking about our form's been building.
Yeah.
Definitely. We've been in really good form for obviously a good period of time, and all the bits were coming back together. And I think in some ways the boys were certainly ready for tonight and the contest.
What did you like better, the way in which your defence could intercept and rebound, or the way in which your forwards could finish tonight?
I liked it all. If I'm being, we have to defend really well in finals. You have to be, and you have to be able to take your chances. We probably missed a few chances that we should have got. I'm sure Geelong did as well. But overall, we played a pretty strong, complete performance, probably bar our centre bounce number.
Ken, Aliir, it looked like you released him, and it was a brilliant first half performance. How important was the message that he sent in the first half, in particular, Aliir tonight?
Oh no, he was really strong. He's had an amazing year. Everyone knows that. We had to. We seen the damage that was caused last time we played Geelong. We had to try something slightly different. We certainly we did that tonight, and Aliir played his end really well for us, and so did Tom Jonas. To be fair, Tom Jonas basically had Cameron, and that worked really well for us.
And to go back to that centre clearance, can you believe takes you to the last quarter, the opening bounce of the last quarter to centre clearance?
I think we had enough opportunities to get centre clearances. We either gave away free kicks, or we probably had the ball in our hands and gave it back a number of times. But yeah, to Geelong's credit, they were able to maximise every one of those opportunities. I don't think it was a typical, I think the number said 15-3 or something. It wasn't a 15-3 out there and kick goals. It was more a pressure exit. At least we're in the contest a little bit.
And Fantasia, obviously a great performance. What was the situation at the end there with his knee?
Clearly they gave it a knock, and we weren't going to take a chance. He was complaining it was a bit sore, so we were in a position where we certainly weren't going to take that chance, and we didn't need to. We've got 2 weeks now, so we've got plenty of time to get over that, I'd imagine. But again, we'll see how he pulls up. But obviously it was a decision based around him was sore, and we didn't need to take any more risk.
And just the way the forward line functioned as a whole, you must have been wrapped with that.
Yeah, I am most weeks. It's normally the media that are not very happy with our forward line functioning. But as I said, for 17 weeks of the year, we've won games of football. We were able to kick scores. We were able to hold teams to losing scores. So more often than not, we play a certain way. There's no doubt about that. It's not everyone's way. It's not everyone's perfect way. It's not always our perfect way, but we know how we play it.
Ken, what was your secret to making Geelong so hesitant in getting out of defence, and they're making so many errors in the way they exited their defence?
There's clear things about Geelong's game that everyone knows, and it's the ability to be able to stop that is really challenging for us. We know that they're a time and possession side. They build the ball up. They take an incredible amount of marks more often than not, and you need to be able to try and take some of that away. Sometimes it works really well tonight, particularly second quarter worked really well, but there's always another day where Geelong are able to get their game going. But tonight we were able to get enough pressure on the kicker and hesitation in his mind that stopped them from taking too many.
How well the forward line went tonight, does that mean going back to maybe 4 tools is unlikely for the rest of the year?
Give me a couple of weeks. I'll tell you about that later. But right now, our forward line functioning has been pretty good tonight, clearly. But we just got to work with what we've got when we get to that point. Mitch will be fine now. Obviously, we've got 2 weeks. He'll be fine. He's been an incredible part of our team all the way through the year. It will be a decision that we have to make around what's right for us for the game and the opposition that we play.
Can we talk about 4-quarter performances? How pleased were you that you remained ruthless right to the line tonight? It was a sustained effort for 4 quarters. Yeah,
I was really pleased. Clearly, that's what you wish. And everyone knows that's what a strong finals game looks like. Is you've got to be the whole way. You've got to be brutal the whole way. And we learnt from last year, and we also learnt in every game we went through this year that you've just got to keep putting your foot down and try and keep the pressure on opposition sides. It's not always easy to do, but tonight we're able to execute at a very high level.
Where does that rank in terms of, I guess, a complete 4-quarter performance from your time at the club? It'd have to be right up there.
It's too hard a question. I've been here a long time. Some people say too long. So I'm not sure. It was a really good performance tonight. Clearly, with the stakes and where it is, we couldn't be more pleased with the performance of the guys.
Was that
Sorry, I was just about to say, in terms of the pressure, is that the template for you going forward? Do you feel like that was as good a pressure as you've applied, or you could apply for a game like this?
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. I mean, it's really hard to play at that level, clearly all the time, and we always look at that and we go, yeah, our pressure was great for 2 quarters, 3 quarters. Tonight was, I would suggest our pressure was enormous for 4 quarters. That takes a lot of effort and a lot of work, but for the boys, they had a lot that they wanted to play for tonight. We had a lot going for us tonight with the game. We got it home here in Adelaide. We earned the right to play in Adelaide. We thought if we can bring the pressure that we could, the great fans that were here tonight, we're going to make it feel like it was even more pressure, and I think that was really important for us. That we played our part for the fans.
And could you compare from all the stuff you've seen, what that combination of Boak and Wines is like? Is there anything that twigs in your mind as to how good that is and compares with anyone else as a partnership you've seen?
No, not really. Not really. I mean, you spend your time admiring your players clearly, and those 2 boys are blokes that everyone admires, and the way they work together, or they work. They're 2 parts of a big midfield, but they are pretty important parts. Drew adds to that clearly. Butters, Rosie, Gray, they all work together. But Ollie and Trevor mainstays, and Willem's another mainstay of our midfield group. But we need them to work that hard for another 2 games.
Ken, you're a win away from a grand final. What's the feeling in the group and in terms of how special and how important tonight was in terms of the overall goal?
Yeah, well, it's big in the overall goal because we get the perfect preparation for what we would like. And, haven't had a pre-finals bye. This is a bye that I feel like is a bonus to us. It's a benefit to us clearly, when you've played a lot of games in a row. And, that's probably what the old system looked like a little bit. And now it works, pretty favourably for us. We get to play at home again. We get to play, after being a bit fresh, but there's some risk with that. But it's the perfect preparation, hard, tough game of football and a bit of a rest.
Do you talk much about the opportunity at hand and the fact that it is finals and the need to step up and all of that before the start of a final series like this, or is it mainly about just Geelong and this week?
Yeah, no, it's mainly about the opposition, but it's also about the opposition and the opportunity. And for us, I got asked a bit through the week, were we better or were we better placed? I just knew we were more experienced and we were better prepared to play the type of football that finals football was. Did I expect us to come out and be as clean and as strong as we were tonight? Maybe not, but I'm pretty happy that we did.
How big was Dersman tonight? There's obviously missed a fair bit of footy across the year, but had some really key moments early and was pretty strong.
Yeah, I think he was really good, but I haven't had much time to think about the game. Haven't obviously had a look at any of the games. So I think Xavier has been building a bit like, the players who have been out of the form for a good period of time. He had a significant injury, a pretty big surgery after round 4. It's great credit to him, but he's been a really strong young player from the time he's walked in the door. And we were confident that he was going to make us better once he got some games under his belt.
Does this one feel different, I guess, compared to, last year's win, the qualifying final over Geelong? It seemed like that was maybe a bit more of, we've broken through, we've arrived. Does it feel like it's more of a statement you've sent this time? No,
I don't think so. I think it's just, the reality is that it was a qualifying final and there's big stakes on both last year and this year. And for us, we played a strong, I think last year we played a pretty strong game too. We won the game. So obviously we played strong again tonight. But it just gives us a great opportunity. But again, we've seen that last year. The opportunity's still got to be maximised.
How does the next weekend a bit look for you, Ken, in terms of training preparation and whatnot?
Yeah, well, obviously we'll have a little bit of lockdown and stuff that we have to go through over the next couple of days before we get tested and get some clearance. We'll find a way to give the boys 2 or 3 days where they can just rest up and recover and stay away from the club. And then we'll get them back in to prepare a bit later in the week once we've got through some clearance of the COVID situation.
How big of an advantage do you think that sleeping, everyone's sleeping in their own beds can be? There's only, Brisbane's on the other side that's in that situation at the moment.
I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, clearly we're at home, but we've spent the whole year travelling. We've won every game in Melbourne we've played this year. We flew in and flew out last week. We're in 2:30 a.m. back. I said this, we've done our part. Everyone's doing their part. It's somewhat of an advantage. Brisbane and stayed home last year. It didn't play out. There was a massive advantage when the game got to this stage. I don't know. I'm happy we're at home.